Conti, bella palla per Rebic, Ibra, Rebic, il tiro,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the SempreMilan podcast. I'm your host today, Anthony Torgerud. Ollie's out. I don't even remember what his excuse was this week, but he's not here.
I think he stubbed his toe or something, and then his power went out, so he can't be here. I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, wait, what? Well, we got Maddie with us.
Yeah, I'm back. I think I've missed the past couple of weeks, but here I am.
Yeah, and we got Gian as well. Welcome home.
Yeah, I think I was on last week. It's been that long of a week, I genuinely can't remember it.
Yeah, this has been the longest freaking week, man. Like, I'm exhausted already.
You were here last week because you talked some shit about me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, John and I were both. Yeah, last week was my first week back in 2 or 3 weeks, I think, and then I'm on 2 in a row now, which is like a new record for everyone since the season ended, I think. Like, we can't keep a lineup going, but whatever.
We got a decent girl summer.
Yeah, hot girl summer. Well, we got a decent amount of stuff to cover. We'll just start with what just came out right now. Kessie just gave some quotes. Said he wants to stay at Milan forever. The exact quotes are, "I'm proud to have chosen Milan, and my intention isn't to leave. On the contrary, I want to stay forever. I now have the Olympics, but when I come back, I'll fix everything. I just want Milan. Maldini and Massara know my thinking. I like it so much when the Ultras sing one president, there's only one president. Well, I want to be one for life, at least in football." So, sounds like he's going to renew. Rumors are he's in advanced talks on a new contract. I don't know what he's going to earn, but 5 or 6 mil. What do you guys think?
I hope he's being honest.
Yeah, same. I believe it when the official communication comes out about it and it's signed. I feel like recently we've had our hearts broken a little bit by players saying they want to be here and not, signing the contract and getting it.
And then they want something else. They want new challenges. So,
yeah.
Hopefully it just gets done before the season starts in the next couple of weeks and we can move on and start looking at, the rest of the market and getting all that crossed off.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know, loyalty's hard to come by with players nowadays, but Kessie's one of the good ones, I think. I think he's been here long enough. He enjoys it. But like you said, we saw with Donnarumma kissing the badge all the time, and then he decided to walk. So I guess anything could happen.
He is being paid less at PSG than what we offered him. So,
yeah, and I'm confused on that because I thought it was announced it was like some crazy money deal, but now they're saying it's only 7 mil or something like that.
I think it's like 7 mil base salary, but then the bonuses are really, really easily achievable. So it moves it straight to 12 mil or whatever the original rumor was.
That would make the most sense. I feel like that's what PSG has to do to get around all this shit because they're just spending so much. Supposedly they're trying to get Pogba now too.
And Theo.
Money. Yeah, well, and that's something. Well, we could just hop to that then. Gazzetta dello Sport was saying that Theo's going to sign with PSG and triple his salary with them. Like that's ridiculous. I don't know what his salary is with us. 1.5 mil. So
1.5 mil. So tripling it is not that much. It's a lot of money, but
it's a lot for a left back. But yeah, it's just I don't get how PSG can get away with all this stuff. There's no way he leaves, though, right?
He's not leaving.
Well, John thinks so, right? You think he's going to dip out?
We just got like one of them horrible gut feelings that you just really, really hope is wrong. And I have a horrible feeling that he's going to go. Sorry. I don't think there was much need to bring in this Ballo Touré guy. I feel like Kerekes could have done a job while Theo would if Theo's ever absent or if we still go for Dallo towards the end of the market. I just feel like something's going to happen and just got a horrible feeling he's going to leave.
I don't think he's going to leave this summer, but he's definitely going to leave in next year or two.
Yeah, I don't see him as like a lifer. I don't think that'll happen. I think once he going to establish himself, you know what, actually? Maybe he's thinking PSG's how he gets into the French squad.
Yeah, I don't blame him for thinking that way. Players want to play for their national team.
Yeah.
So if that's how he's going to get there, then
think he'll definitely get in the next international squad once he's been playing in the Champions League regularly with us, and like Deschamps, he can't really look past him now. He's got to kind of put him in it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I thought, but who's starting over him? Digne? Which, I mean, that makes no fucking sense. No offense, but he plays for
Digne is
terrible
fantastic.
club.
Just because he plays for a terrible club does not mean he's not fantastic.
But compared to Theo, I mean...
Yeah, he plays defense.
Okay.
He's good at defense.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know.
Clearly give some like balance to the French squad or something like that. But the way that Theo keeps getting overlooked, it's either there might be something more to it, with it being like growing up as he in the youth systems and stuff like that, or rumoured that he was going to choose Spain over France or something like that. I don't know if that's like the French national
I feel like
team.
there's
very
always
political.
drama with the French national team.
Yeah.
Like with Benzema and, you know.
I mean, he had a real scandal.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know how he got called back in. Probably just because everyone else was old.
Did he like blackmail one of the teammates?
Yeah, I don't remember who. Someone. Who was it? I don't know. There was some ridiculous
Ribery. Something to do with Ribery.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. We'll get demonetized if we go into the details of that one, though. But it's not.
Yeah, we will.
So just leave it at that. Benzema's shady. Yeah, I mean, not much else to talk about as far as the Theo thing goes. So we'll just dip out of that. An interesting one from Andrea Langoni from MilanNews.it. He said Romagnoli might move to another club, and one of those options was swapping him with Bernardeschi from Juve.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an awful deal. It doesn't make
coming round to the thought of Romagnoli still being here like this season. If he can just renew on his current salary, he's still the club captain. I think he does want to be here, and Kio's not going to play 45 games next season. And I think if we let go of Romagnoli, it's going to be hard to find a good enough replacement on our budget. So I think it just makes more sense to keep his wages on the books as what it is. If we need to give him like an extra 500k, whatever, then just do it and get him tied down for at least another 2 to 3 years.
Well, and that's the issue too, is this will be the final year on his contract. So if we don't renew him and he doesn't leave this summer, then he leaves on a free just like everyone's been doing. And you're right, Kier's not going to last 3 more seasons. You know, he might have next season as a substitute player, but this is his last season as a starter, I would imagine. Maybe one more. I just don't see it. But I don't know. What do you guys think of Bernardeschi? I think it's a bad call. Like,
yeah, no thanks.
Always around. I don't think he's worth it.
I mean, I've seen a lot of Milan fans at the minute being like, oh, no, it'd be a good signing, but I think that's more to do with the fact that he's just won the Euros.
I would have liked him like 2 or 3 years ago, but not now.
I'd have liked him when Juve signed him from Fiorentina, because I think that season we were linked with signing him, and obviously they picked us to it, and he'd come off a really good year at Fiorentina, but I just don't think he'd be the right player for us. I just don't think it'd be right. I'd rather go for someone a bit younger and a bit more reliable, a bit more consistent.
Yeah, that's one of those players that like a top club signs as a depth option when they already have a world-class starter. And that's not the situation we find ourselves in. So, plus it doesn't make sense to get rid of a defender to bring in maybe a backup winger. I don't know. It's strange. I don't think he starts over Salamakers. I think Salamakers is clear.
I personally think Salamakers is still going to be the starting right winger this season. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it just adds something to the team. It balances it out. Obviously, we're very attacking down the left, and he brings it. Everyone knows my thoughts on him, and I just don't see purely dropping him unless you sign some kind of like right wing superstar, like Messi or Kessie in a minute, someone like that that's just going to come in obviously and walk into the team. But I think Salah's still number one.
Yeah, I think that's the only way we replace him is if we do sign up, like you said, a ready-made star that's going to walk right in. And I just don't think there's that many available right now. I think Ziyech maybe can pull it off, but I mean, even then, like I think we're looking more for an attacking mid over that, just with Takano, like because Ziyech could play on the wing or he could play down the middle, so you would put him down the middle. Right now, we're lacking the personnel. Or Ilicic, the other name we're linked with, who could do both, but I think he would play down the middle also. So I don't think Sawmakers goes anywhere. I think he's going to be starter.
I think.
Hopefully that doesn't mean that Kessie who stays though.
Yeah, obviously we need an improvement on Kessie, but I've said it. I think I said it in the group chat the other day. Our main problem isn't the starting 11 as such. It's more the depth. That's what let us down in January when, January, February time when we fell off the top of the league and we started dropping a few points and stuff like that. It was because the depth wasn't good enough. For the first time in 7 years, we qualified for the Champions League. Our starting 11 has been good enough and it's only going to get better because it's such a young squad. The main importance is just bringing in better quality depth. In my opinion, it is anyway.
I agree with you. I do think we need some new starters, but the depth is we have more competition this season, more games to play. So we absolutely need more depth. Like you said, our injury issues, but I also think that we need some more starters as well.
I think the management have done a good job already. Like when you look at Giroud replacing Mandzukic is an instant upgrade, and if we'd have had someone like him in like the second half of last season when we signed Mandzukic, I think we might be sitting here, the Italian champions, or certainly a lot closer to Inter than what we actually finished. So, and then renewing Tomori, getting a backup left back in now and stuff like that. I think there's a couple of key positions still missing, but I think we'll be all right next season.
I don't know if we would have won.
We still need a striker.
Yeah,
Ibra and Giroud are not the starting two. They can't just take it away.
I think
we need someone else.
Last week on the pod, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised by Giroud. Like, Dzeko scored goals for fun around at the same age. You look at Quagliarella, you look at Ibra dominated. Well, I say Quagliarella dominating when he finished top goal scorer. Ibra making fun of the league at times. I think Giroud is going to score quite a few goals for us, and I think he's going to be the starter over Ibra.
I don't think he's going to start over Ibra. I think you're right in everything else, but he's not going to start over Ibra. They're going to have a partnership. I don't think is the best, or they alternate or something. Maybe it'll be a one striker formation, but maybe they alternate starting games. Like Giroud may play the lower level teams, Latin may play the higher level, and then they alternate the 60th minute or something like that. But I don't know. I bet they get close to equal amounts of starts, but I don't think
Ibra is going to concentrate on Champions League over the league.
I think it's kind of like his last chance saloon to win the Champions League, and he's going to give.
He's not going to. We're not winning the Champions League this year.
No, I know, but you know what? Like Ibra's mentality. Ibra's mentality.
Yeah, that's what he wants. That's absolutely what he wants. Speaking of Ibra, his whole family just moved to Milan. Last season he complained about how he missed him in Sweden. They just moved out here, so. Ollie was speculating that means we think when he retires, he's got like a coaching opportunity or training or management role with us or something. I don't know if that's the case.
I hope
think
so.
His family's moving here because he doesn't want to be alone, and rich people can do that. But it'd be interesting. Yeah.
I think he'll definitely, when he retires, I think he'll definitely stand at the club. We all know how much he loves Milan and stuff like that. I can see him staying on in some form of role. I were expecting Kaká to take a role similar. Because there were rumours that he was going to be like a not sporting director, but a technical director and stuff like that. And that didn't materialise, but I hope it does with Ibra.
I could see him doing something like Baresi, where he's just like an ambassador to the club, like he's at and stuff. But I don't think he's going to have any like prominent role outside of being a figurehead. But
yeah, same.
He
like a mascot.
Harambe or whatever, that the Swedish club. Like I think he's going to do stuff with them more than anything.
Harambe was a monkey who got killed. It's like Hammerby.
It was a gorilla. Hammerby, whatever. Hammerby, something like that. Anyways, moving on.
Harambe.
Yellow. He's okay. This name. Kvaratskhelia. 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 We'll go with that from Ruben Kazan. People were saying that was confirmed, that it was done deal. Antonio Vitiello's saying no, that's not the case. That there's like next to no confirmation of us even being interested, other than that we scouted him in the past, and that we were interested in his progress, but we haven't pushed for anything at all. He is saying that a name that is true that we're working on is Julian Brandt from Dortmund, loan with option. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? I think it's not a bad idea. It's just another attacking mid, you know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this other guy, but Brandt from Dortmund would be great, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a good sign if we can get him on like the right sort of deal. Loan with option FC, obviously in full swing again. But yeah,
I'm not against loaning with options though, because I'd rather loan with an option of 27 million than to just waste 27 million and sell them for 15. You know.
I think it's pretty smart business. You kind of get a try before you buy. Like it worked out with Tomori. People thought the option fee was too high. It turned out actually to be a steal, and maybe the same happens with Brandt. In regards to the other guy, not really. Well, never heard of him before. Suddenly, everyone's expert in the Russian Premier League, like most of Milan Twitter is, because they watch it in the spare time.
Never watched a Russian league game in my life. Couldn't tell you where to watch it. Couldn't name a single team. I got this guy's name in front of me, and I couldn't even tell you. I already scrolled past it. Ruben Kazan. Like, that means nothing to me. But Nikita, I mean, he's Russian, so I believe him when he says he watches the league. He says that he is one of the better players in the league, but that doesn't mean
anything.
Yeah, it's like, he's a good player for the Russian league, but it's the Russian league.
It's like a player from the MLS. He's good, but is he actually good?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a signing I really understand. If he's a left winger, I mean, suddenly everyone's saying, but he can play on the right too. But again, they've never really watched the game. They've just gone transfer market.
I was going to say they go to SoFIFA.com and look at his FIFA stats.
Pretty much. And now they've decided that he's a person to replace Salamakis because he put up because he's had a picture in the Milan kit before. I've never heard of him. It's not one that makes sense, really, because he's a left winger by the looks of it.
It's so funny, too. Like, you see pictures of all these players with the Milan shirt in the youth, and everyone's like, he's a fan of the club. Well, for example, yesterday I saw a random dude walk into the gym with the Milan jersey, and I asked him about it, and he said he wasn't a fan. He just had the shirt. What the chances of a random kid in poor Europe with it that actually plays the sport having a jersey, like, significantly higher. So it means nothing. I don't know. It's crazy. But Julian Brandt, I think, is a good idea. I mean, he's probably in his prime now. I think he's like 25, playing for the German national team, attacking mid. Could also play left wing. With the way Jens Petter's been playing, he's probably out the door. I know Wolfsburg wants him, so if we get the money for that and then we bring this dude in on loan, I think that's a good deal.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think Hauge's out the door. I just really don't see anything in him, and we're a bit.
I don't understand why. I feel like in the games that he's played, he's made a difference.
I don't think he's haven't played games lately. Like since that Sampdoria game, he hasn't.
Right.
But
he did awful in preseason yesterday.
It was great, obviously, to see him score against Sampdoria, and that's why he apparently deserves minutes. But earlier on in the season, Castillejo scored the winner against Sampdoria. So does that automatically bump him up and say he deserves minutes now because he scored a winning goal? Like the performances himself with Hauge, just can't. To me, he just sometimes runs around like a headless chicken, deer in headlights.
Well, he's like
really
18, and he moved away from home for the first time to a country that he's never been to play for a giant club.
No, I get all them reasons, and that's why I've tried being like this, but I just personally don't see the hype that a lot of people do around him.
I think it's worth being patient and giving him some time, but also like if he leaves, I'm not going to be heartbroken.
If we gave Paqueta 2 seasons and continued to play him when he played like shit, we can give Hauge more time.
We did it, though. We gave him 2 opposite halves of the season. We gave him the second half his first season and the first half of the second season, and then out the door. Like,
oh, yeah, I guess that was only really one season.
Yeah. I don't know, that made no sense to me. I thought he was done dirty as well, but whatever. I bet he would have done great in this formation in a 4-3-1 that actually had something for his role instead of. Well, I don't know why we had this obsession the last 3 seasons to sign an attacking midfielder, not play with one, and then throw him on the left wing and just hope they can ball out, and they never can because that's not their position.
It's because we had Hakan playing center attack, and we couldn't.
We had him playing on the wing too.
That's true.
Yeah. But anyways, let's see what else we got on here. Kyle George. So we're willing to pay 2 to 3 million euros to get him this summer. They want 6. Might sign a pre-agreement to get him in winter. But Juventus has supposedly surpassed us in the race, which means nothing since no one's submitted any bids. It just, I don't know. I always think that's a weird term. Like, oh, they've overtaken so and so. It's like no one's shown any bids, so there's no race right now. It's a weird thing. I think Santos said that we did bid and it wasn't enough or something like that, or that someone bid. So maybe that was Juve. I don't know, but this is another thing that I don't care if we get or not.
I've seen that it was Benfica that made the bid. Again, it really doesn't mean anything. I think if we're going to get him, we'll stick our guns and it'll be no more than 3-4 mil. Otherwise, we'll just get him on a pre-agreement for December. But I'd rather just if we are going to go for him, I'd rather get him in as soon as possible, and because we're going to need as many players as possible. For next season, especially with the amount of games we'll be playing. So
Madison's gone. Okay.
I gotta grab my computer charger.
Oh, I was like, he's gone. It was his turn to talk. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't mind spending less than 10 million on a young striker. The Brazilian league talent could either mean world class or absolutely nothing. It's so lopsided.
But South Americans have always done great for us. Historically, not recently, but previous to the last 10 years.
Paqueta.
God. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's always a gamble getting a young Brazilian forward. You never know if they're going to flop or if they're just all hype, if they're all about their skill moves that do nothing.
Didn't we get Pato as a younger Brazilian forward? And I guess Pato is technically a flop, and Kaká?
Yeah,
I think
it's always a risk.
You
think the chance of getting a Kaká every time you buy a 19-year-old from Brazil is high? It's not at all.
No, but I'd be willing to take the gamble with 2 to 3 million or 4.
I think the difference is back then you didn't have as much pressure from social media and stuff like that. Paqueta had a whole Twitter account created just for him, AC Milan Brazil. There were talk of being the new Kaká, the 35 million being spent, pressure from the fans. When Kaká signed for us, it were no one really talking you didn't see as many clips, all these YouTube comments and stuff like that. It was just kind of allowed to grow into it with no pressure. But now coming from Brazil, everyone's the new Ronaldinho, the new someone he fits from Argentina is the new Messi and stuff like that. And I think there's just too much pressure now. And I think that's all through social media, and we're not giving players enough time to grow and adapt.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they're forced to either perform immediately or they're just liable to flop and they're out the door like Paqueta was. But all I'm saying is I don't care if we get him or not. It's worth the risk, but also if we don't get him, is it how did either of you know who this kid was until we had links to him? Because I didn't.
No idea.
I did only because of the great Matt Robson.
Okay.
FM wonder kid, Kaya Hauge, scored loads of goals. We were in the Champions League with some shit team, something like that. And yeah, so Matt used to hype him up quite a bit. A lot of people do seem to think that he's a real deal, but again, everyone's apparently the real deal that comes from Brazil. So
he just scored a goal at the Olympics for Brazil. It wasn't anything impressive. It was basically a walked-in goal, but
Richarlison scored a hat trick, so that doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, there you go. So Yeah, end of the day, I won't cry if we don't get him. If we do get him, sweet. It's another name. It's another striker. Yeah, attacking players are always fun to sign. And now here's an interesting report. And it's a strange one because I should preface this by saying I don't know who their source is, but the source that announced it was Milan Club Slovenia, and maybe they'll be on one of our Milan Club series later in the series here. But they're saying that Ilicic is already signed with us and that it's a done deal. It's just got to get like medicals and announcement on $2.5 million a year. But I haven't heard anything of that. I have no idea. They were saying $4 million transfer fee, $2.5 million a year. Again, it's a source that isn't known as being a source. It's a Milan club, so it's not a real source. They're saying it was the player's entourage. That can mean anyone, like Gian is my entourage. What does he know? Like none of that doesn't mean anything. So
I've seen that Milan Club Slovenia often say people that they say Ilicic news to him were the same ones that told him about Kessie when Kessie signed. Apparently, it's the same source, and obviously, so it must maybe someone from Atlanta's leaking the information to him if it's true. But again, I've seen like 4 or 5 deals that have supposedly been done this week. There's obviously been the guy from Russia, Ilicic now, that Bondo or something, that young French midfielder. Like all these deals are supposedly being done, but there's just no announcement with them. I'll wait for someone serious like Milan News or Longo, Fabrizio, Romano, someone like that to clarify it, not the Milan club, which no disrespect or, some second-rate journalist that's just trying to get a hit before anyone else to make a name for himself.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like, the Milan club is a Milan club. They're not a news source. It doesn't mean someone who reliable can't tell them something. It just means it's not a common situation. So if it is done, speaking as if this is true, then I'm hyped. I'm all for it. That's exactly what we need. Like, he's 33, but he knows the league. He's fantastic, dirt cheap. And if we have Brahim on loan for 2 more years and he's playing rotating with him or behind him, like, because he's got probably a year at the top level left, maybe another year as a backup. Like, I think it's actually a pretty smart move, and I wouldn't be shocked if it does happen. Plus, he could also play right wing if need be, and that basically eliminates the Samu issue. If Brahim's performing and then we move him right wing, like, we could rotate him with Sally, or I don't know. I think it's a good move. He's versatile enough to play multiple positions, and that's kind of what we need. So I'm for it. I hope it's true.
Yeah, so I think the key is to get like with the front three, like the left wing, the attacking mid, the right wing. Try and get as many versatile players in there so we can just rotate across the three. Obviously, everyone's got the favoured or the more natural position, but I feel like with wingers, especially if you're playing at the top level in football, you should be able to play on either wing and it not really make too much of a difference to your game. Just personal opinion on that one. I think if you're playing at the top level elite football like Champions League and you're not both footed, you can't put a crossing with both feet, or you can't beat a man, and you're not comfortable on both wings. I think that's a bit of a worry.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the last bit of news that was really worth covering. We could briefly go over the friendly because there's not much to really discuss in that either. And I don't know who all got to watch it. Did either of you catch it?
I saw the first half, part of the first half.
Okay.
I've literally just seen the highlights of.
Well, then you've both probably seen all the same thing because nothing happened the second half. It was god awful. It was the worst 45 minutes I've ever spent. But the first 45 were a lot of fun. We were up 3-0 in 8 minutes. And, of course, those were the 8 minutes it took me to log into the Daily Motion app and get the video up. So
wait, you had to log in?
Yeah, I didn't have Daily Motion downloaded on my Apple TV.
Oh, I just screen shared from my phone to the TV.
I had my girl over, and I didn't want my messages to pop up on the screen just in case someone was talking about her because it's a commonly discussed topic. So,
and now you've just announced that on the podcast.
She's not listening to this. She doesn't know.
It's a half hour in. There's no chance.
Yeah, exactly. She might start it and turn it off. But anyways, Brahim got a goal in the Brahim got a goal in 2 minutes. That was awesome. And then Leao ripped one right after, and then went on Twitter talking about like silencing the critics or whatever, as if scoring a goal against a Series Che side and fucking preseason means anything. But
right,
Leao being Leao. Then he got in an argument with some guy on Twitter who was like, "Bro, you scored against a Series A team in preseason. Like, why are you acting like this?" And he replied with like a bunch of laughing emojis. So I don't know. Sounds like Leao's probably a sensitive guy. Then Tomori got one, which is dope. Didn't see any of those. And then Krunic got one in the 19th minute and actually looked really good. Again, Series C, so take it with a grain of salt. But great cross from Theo, and Krunic just had a nice header in. And then Theo got one from a free kick in the 43rd minute, which was pretty exciting. And then after that, it was like the entire youth team came on. It was Colombo, Maldini, some guy named Probati, Caldara, Jens Petter, Conti, Castillejo, Ballo. Ballatore came on, and Puzzari. And I didn't see anything from any of them. So, yeah. Then 3 more people came on. 3 names I swear I've never heard. Enrico De Gessu, Luca Stagna, I have heard him, and Andrea Capone, I've heard him too. But, yeah, just no one worth really discussing. I mean, I don't know.
I think that second half team, they're kind of like just playing for the future, aren't they? But I think it's hard to put 11 players that you don't really want at the club or have no plans for and expect them to do anything great. Obviously, you want them to stand out a little bit, but when you're just putting a load of mismatch together, it's hard to. It's like it'd be like picking one person from each country and asking them all to play together for 45 minutes and hope something comes of it.
Yeah, I think the starting 11 that we went with is going to be players that we'll actually see during the season. And then the second 11 was Primavera players, Caldara and Conti, who are, on their way out the door. They're just getting some minutes in so that they look at least appetizing for a club. I know Venezia was looking at Caldara, so hopefully that gets done. We get him gone. I don't know what Conti's deal is. He's probably just going to stay because I don't think anyone wants him. I bet he just rides out his contract. And then Castillejo's unfortunately going to be here.
How much is he making on his contract?
Who?
Andrea Conti.
I have no idea, honestly. It was a Mirabelli signing, so probably like 2.5, something.
Yeah,
significantly
a lot.
Yeah, I bet we could find out really quick though. Handy dandy transfer market.
Expires 2022.
Yeah, 2 million. 2 million euros. Wow. But 2022, I mean, that's next season. So this will be his last one. So he's just going to play out this season and be gone. Guarantee it. No one's going to take him. Maybe they sign him on a pre-contract in January or buy him for $500,000 or something stupid. But
we bought him for $11 million.
At the time, to be fair, he was Serie A Defensive Player of the Year. I was hyped for it. I thought he was great. It was just he got injured, didn't play, got injured again, didn't play. And it was just a nightmare after that. But we have a real friendly next Saturday against Nice. So that'll be nice. We'll actually get to see ourselves against another top flight team.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best, but it'll be a good one. Anything else you guys want to discuss before we go to questions? Like that's probably about it.
No, I'm ready for questions, to be fair. I find it hard to analyse like a friendly game against a second-rate side, especially a Serie C side. You can't take really much from it apart from 45 minutes in the legs.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just to get the players going, getting warmed up. I mean, the stars are still on vacation. Zlatan's not there. Giroud's not there. Like, the players are excited to see play. They're not there because they don't need to be. So, I don't know. Preseason's one of those things I watch when I have time. And if I don't, I'm not going to go out of my way to make some.
I think you learn a lot more from the games that you lose in pre-season than the ones that you win. Like the time when we beat Bayern Munich, and then we had a shit season under Montella, and we played really well against Man United under Gianpaolo, and then it was sacked after 7 games. Like I'd almost rather lose the games in pre-season so you know what you need to work on than I would win them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that.
False expectations.
I always think it's weird that like we create these preseason friendlies knowingly against these third-tier teams or fourth-tier teams. Like, who does that help? It doesn't help the lower team just to get battered by a top club, because what does that tell them about themselves? You know, they're expected to lose, and it doesn't tell us anything either because we're expected to dominate. So I think this upcoming friendly against Nice makes sense. You know, we're similar caliber clubs, at least top tier. The one against Madrid the week after at least makes sense. We have one against Valencia later that makes sense. Like, those are the ones to look out for, but not Modena. That doesn't matter. All right, moving on to questions. First one from @BaraceOfTheGoat6. What do you guys think about signing Gaetano Castrovilli? I think he will be the icing on the cake. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyone want to go first?
I really like Castrovilli. I would have liked to have signed him a couple of years ago. I mean, he's still young, so obviously I'd still like to sign him now. I think he's a really nice player. Could definitely slot into our team. Probably is a very solid depth option, but that's kind of, I'd almost say, a luxury signing, because he wouldn't be the
cost right now.
Well, where can we sell him as a club?
I didn't hear the question.
30 mil, something like that.
Gaetano Castrovilli. He's at Fiorentina right now.
Oh,
attacking mid, or is he? He's not attacking mid, right? He's just a regular mid.
He's like centre mid that I think he can play like attacking mid. So
yeah,
it's a bit like
this sort of deal.
A bit like Pabega, a bit like Krunic, a utility, versatility sort of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a really good last season. I think he had 8 goals, something like that. I don't really know. I know he had a good amount of goals for a midfielder. Like, I'm sure he played most of the game, so maybe the goals per 90 isn't that high, but like, he's not intended to be. So I don't know. I think he's a good player. He's young. I don't know what his contract terms are. But yeah, it's probably someone you could probably get loan with option if we were to really push for it. I don't think Fiorentina's in a position to kind of say no to offers. I think they're a poorly ran club, so I wouldn't be shocked if they did that, but I don't know if it's something we'll make a move for.
I just think for the money that we'd probably have to spend to get him, there's probably a lot better options out there, or more gaps that need filling before we sign someone like him. But as much as I'd love him at the club.
Yeah, although with the AFCON coming up, it kind of does make sense to at least get a European in there and another Italian. Like, it's not a bad thing, you know, to get another one. So I'm not against it. I just don't think it'll happen. I don't think we're really looking at it. All right, next one from Darren Torres at Tempest Fugget 20. It says Gage, but I'm assuming it means Hauge. Hauge hasn't impressed much during the friendlies. Is this a sign that he needs to leave, or should we keep faith in the guy? We kind of touched on that already. I think he's worth keeping around for a little bit longer, but if he leaves, I'm not going to be heartbroken. Just depends if we get a replacement quick.
I'd like to keep him and give him more time.
I just don't think, because it is a tough one. I just don't think we can give him the minutes he needs next season to really try and find this potential that he apparently seems to have. And I think a loan option might be the right move for him. But again, I think it were a signing that we kind of had to make at the time because it was so cheap, and it could turn out into a really good deal and not one that we could miss. But I just don't think he's a player that we need right now. So I'd be open to letting him go if we can get 10 to 15 mil for him, make a nice profit, and reinvest that money elsewhere.
If we could get 10 to 15, I'm all for it. I think the offer we were getting was like 8 from Wolfsburg, and that's not worth it. I think we requested 12, which would be fine for me. Honestly.
How much do we get him for? Like 1 or 2?
It was less than 1. I thought we got him like dirt cheap. I don't think it was that much.
Mil.
I'm gonna look it up real quick just because I'm curious now. Almost got it up. Sorry. He was $1.1 million. Oh no, $5.5 million. So yeah, John's right. 4 million euros. Okay. Well, I didn't realize we spent that much. So even 8, to be honest, double your money in a season for a player that didn't play much. Like, it's not bad. But yeah, I don't know. I think we could get more. The next one is from Tifosi Down Under. Well, guys, I'm Glenn, one of the two from TDU. That's Defosi Down Under, and I'm a Milan fan. Love listening to your pod. Keep it up. Thank you very much. With Ballatore as a left back, we can potentially utilize Theo as a left mid. We have seen how diverse he is. I don't like that idea, to be honest. I think he needs to be left wing back just because he likes to make those overlapping runs with the left wing. And if we use him as the left wing, then there's no one to overlap, and you just got to rely on his speed and hope he doesn't get challenged or something. However, it does look like we might be transitioning towards a 3-5-2 or something. In that case, a left wing back wouldn't be too surprising, or left mid technically in that case. I don't know. We were playing Gabia as a right back all preseason so far, and that might just be because Calabria is still recovering from injury and we don't have someone else. We have Kolulu, but I don't know where he's at, if he's back yet or not. But I don't know. It's interesting. If we go to a 2-striker formation, then sure, but I don't know. I don't think it's necessary.
I think it's just trying to fix something that isn't broken. He does his job left back. We don't need to push him up to left winger or anything like that. We just keep him as he is, really. I don't see the fascination of trying to be a bit edgy and come up with new positions for players that we just don't need. Like, I've seen people saying, I thought Gabriel might actually transition into a right back, but then, like Ollie said, it's probably just the fact that Conte's not in the plans. Calabria's coming back from injury. Kalulu's with the squad, and we don't have anyone else. That's the only reason that he's playing there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Well, I know it's tough because you see a guy like Theo who's super fast, attacking minded, and can score loads of goals. We've seen it. I mean, he was one of our top goal scorers in the 2 seasons he's been here. And then you look at a guy like Gareth Bale, one of the best in the world in his prime, who started as either left or right back. Yeah, as a left back, and then became a left winger. And that's what made him the first 9-figure player in the world. So I could see why people would think that it's a possibility, and maybe it is. I just don't think it's a necessity, especially when we don't have many players on the left flank as is, in any back or wing position. So I think keep him where he's at, let him do what he's been doing, and go from there. But next question is from @BennyB_Milan. He's actually got a lot of questions, so we'll read them all. First one, Kessie, 6 million, deserved or not? If not, how much? I think we'll all just kind of go through these fairly quick, just because there are a lot of them here. If you want 6, give him 6. I don't have a problem with that. I think 5 is a more realistic number, though.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. We're paying Giroud 6. He's just as important to us, if not more, than what Giroud was. Same with Ibra. He's just as important as Ibra, in my opinion. So yeah, give him a 6. But
I say if he can sign, I think if we can sign him for 5, sign him for 5. That way, in 2 years, we can be like, hey, here's renewal. We're going to give you 6.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I think 6 is kind of, I'd probably say, our limit. I don't think then we could offer him more. Well, we could offer him more. I just don't think we would when it comes to offering him another renewal in 3-4 years' time.
No, but in 3 or 4 years, we're going to have our own stadium, hopefully. We'll be making way more money, and then we'll be able to spend on players like what we want and pay them what we think,
I hope
that
so.
also depends if we're consistently in Champions League. That was something Maldini said a while back too. Was we can't splash on players until they have 4 or 5 consecutive seasons in the Champions League. I mean, look at Inter, that 2 seasons and they fucking spilled all their marbles and now they're dead. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to my buddy the other day. It's not qualifying for Champions League that's huge. It's staying in Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
If we can qualify, it's great. But if we don't qualify for the next 2 years, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's got to be our focus. Top 4 should still be the goal, the main goal, more than anything. I know people want a trophy, and I would love to get one, but I think top 4, that's what you need to aim for always. His next question, well, I'm going to go to his third question, then back to his second, because his third one we already touched on, so I just want to read it off, and then we can kind of move ahead. But He said the Romagnoli situation, how much of an impact will we see with his contract coming to an end next year? We kind of touched on it. He might leave for free. We might renew him. It makes most sense. I don't think we should get rid of him. Anyone have anything else to add?
I would like to keep him, but I don't think he's going to renew for what we offer him. So I think selling him makes the most sense.
I think you've got to sell him this transfer market, or you've just got to renew him. We can't afford to lose another player for free. But again, club captain, a solid option for the defensive Kvaratskhelia tomorrow is out injured. I think personally, I'd just go for the renewal, but don't go crazy with it.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you on that. And then this other question was for captaincy: Romagnoli, Kessie, Kjaer, or Ibra, who deserves it? I think you can't really take it from Romagnoli. If he's going to start again, then let him keep it. If he's not starting, Kjaer's a good shout. I think everyone wants to see that, especially after his Euro performance. But Kessie is obviously a leader in the locker room, something that people look up to. Ibra, I'm going to be maybe not controversial to you guys, but I think controversial to the fan base here and say he doesn't need the armband. I think he's a big enough presence on his own that giving him the armband takes away the opportunity to have a second captain. Ibra's always going to behave as a captain, whether he's got an armband or not. So if you give someone the armband, then you have your captain, plus Ibra, now you got two leaders.
I would not make Ibra captain. I would make Kessie or Kjaer captain. I prefer Kessie, given what he just said about the club. Kjaer, I mean, I respect what he did this summer, but, I still want Kessie to be captain.
I think, like AJ said, to be fair, Kessie doesn't need the armband either. Like, he's called the president for a reason. He's clearly got a big enough impact on the dressing room. Kjaer, the way that like the rest of the players talk, like he's got a big enough impact on the dressing room. These players, they don't need the armband. Obviously, when in Romagnoli's absence, they'll wear it, but there's a reason why Romagnoli got the captaincy. There's a reason why he's still the captain, and unless he leaves, it should just be kept that way and let the other players still lead if they want to and wear the armband during games if he's not there. But I don't see the need to change a club captain at the minute. Just for the
I don't see, unless we play with three at the back and Romagnoli starts in that formation, I don't see a way that he's going to unseat Tomori or Kjaer.
I think he will, just for the fact that Kjaer won't be able to play 40 games next season.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. His next question, right wing. I think we kind of touched on it. It's either going to be Ilicic or Salamaker still. I don't think there's going to be any surprise name unless like we get a Ziyech late in the window or something like that. But anything you guys want to add?
No, I think if Ilicic will be the easiest, cheapest solution, and we can put that money into a number 10, which I think is a bit more important. But then again, I think Diaz is going to shine this season. I think he's really going to step up, and I kind of want him to. I kind of almost don't want to sign another number 10. I want to give full confidence to Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, last season I had him in my preseason prediction as like going to be the top assist leaguer or a top assister in the league, and I'd like to see him prove me right this season. I've always been a fan of the kid. Plus, with the number 10, that's nice. I like it. And then his fifth question, we're not going to answer because we did it last week, and it's like nothing has changed since then. But he said, rate the transfer so far 1 to 10, and me, Gian, and Ollie rated those last week. So, Benny, if you're listening, go back watch last week because we haven't signed anyone new since then. So we rated them all then. Moving on to the next one. This one is from Iceman69 Guru. We seem to be bouncing between multiple attacking midfielder links. Appreciate we're trying to find a low-cost possible loan solution, but who would you prefer out of all of them and why? Also, if we do sign attacking mid, what would Diaz's role be in the team? Would he be relegated to the bench again, or would you give him a chance to slot in the team somewhere? We kind of actually just answered that as well. So I guess we could just go to the next one. This next one's also from Iceman. He said, if a concrete offer comes in for Theo, would you sell him? Wouldn't be upset if you went somewhere for 50 to 60, but who would you buy to replace him? I'd love to see Spinazzola in the team minus his injury. I don't think we would get Spinazzola. I think that would. I don't know. I mean, he's a great player, but I think after his Euro performance, well, he's injured AF. But if he comes back healthy, we'd have to spend everything that we just earned on Theo. So I don't know. It doesn't.
Exactly.
It wouldn't make any sense to get a new name in there. I would just keep Theo.
I mean, Theo, like, I guess he's kind of a luxury at left back. He's a very good left back, and obviously chips in with goals and stuff like that. But if you get 60, 70 million for him and you can reinvest that somewhere else in the team, like by signing Vlahovic or top quality number 10, and then just get a left back that does the job of a left back and a very good job of the left
Gian,
back.
I was about to legit say the same thing.
Do you know, like, I think it's a player that we can afford to lose, especially if we get a good offering for him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. Well, that kind of says all that. There's a few more. I'm just kind of grazing over them. Some we've already mentioned. One from Fixer_07. He's asking us about Brahim, which we already answered. One from Ancelotti's Milan. Can we switch to a 4-2-2-2 with 2 attacking mids? We tend to cut inside.
We don't even have one. We have one. Where are we going to get the second one from?
We only have one attacking mid right now.
The depth for 2 more to replace those 2.
Yeah, so we'd have to get rid of all of our wingers and sign 3 more attacking mids. So I don't think that would happen.
I just don't get the obsession of trying to like change the formation when the 4-2-3-1 clearly works so well for us. The fact that it's got us into the Champions League for the first time in 7 years, and now we want to try a whole new formation just because, I don't know, they tried it on FIFA once and it worked. I just don't get it. I really don't. It blows
the
my
last
mind
7
sometimes.
years, my go-to formation on FIFA has been the 4-2-3-1, and I've been preaching it forever, but it's never been realistic. And then all of a sudden we got it and it works. So maybe I'm the GOAT. I don't know. This is from Wanless95. What are your minimum requirements for a successful transfer season? Which teams do you expect to trouble Milan this season? Keep in mind the large number of managerial swaps. Yeah, I think it's going to be the usual characters that are going to trouble us. I think Inter, Juve, Napoli, probably not.
Do you think Juve is, though?
Yeah, I think Juve is going to be favorites for Scudetto again. I mean, their team hasn't gotten worse, but their manager has improved.
Their team has also not gotten better.
I think,
but it was already the best team.
And Ronaldo's going to leave.
I think
the issue with Juve is it's an aging squad. Like, it doesn't always work out bringing a manager back that was successful with you, because the team's completely changed to what he had. I don't think anyone's strengthened this summer in Serie A other than us, and the only team that's going to keep the consistency there. I think Inzaghi's in Sarri's Lazio, Spalletti gone to Napoli. It's going to take time for them to drill into their philosophies and the way that they want their teams to play. And I think we've got a really good chance this year at getting a good head start, and with the right signings and the right depth and hopefully less injuries, we could make a real charge for the title.
Yep. I think that kind of covers it all. There's a few more questions, but we kind of touched on it all, and we're running a little long, so I think we're going to end it there. Any closing thoughts? Are we all set? All good. All right.
Good.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Appreciate it. By the way, we are in running for Best Club Creator for the FCA Awards. Last year we got 3rd. This year we'd like to get 1st. So I'm going to put a link in the description below on how to vote. Do that for us. That would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, we'll catch you in a week's time. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Andrea Conti, bella palla per Rebic, Ibra, Rebic, il tiro, gol!